as it is now is a combination of candidates, the grassroots, people that are operating in different, in different locations all over the state. And I know the strengths of these people, and I keep mentioning that. And based on that, and even our own strengths, even within the Ogun West, where myself and General Tunde have come from. I know that we have 5 local governments in that location. We have 3 House of Representatives seats in that location, and I don't necessarily have to begin to give statistics and figures here. It's not based on something.
As a follow-up to what Chamberlain did ask, lots of people will tell us, especially politicians, when they come and they sit there, they tell us they don't believe what you read in the papers. Now you hear, we read in the papers, clarify for us if it's true, that they approached you. Now we're talking about General Luri approached you to come work with him rather than go to the PPN or go to court. Did he approach you at any point in time?
Well, he did not approach me as a person, but some of his people did approach, and the reason is that these people, and pardon my language, have no political base in some of these places. What they were hoping was going to happen was that immediately the judgment was given, yet it's still being challenged. They are going to lash on the structure that is on ground, by some of us, by some of the people that we have, to work for them, knowing fully well that we cannot leave PDP at that time, if not that we find another way out of it. So that's exactly what. So they did not approach me, or rather, he did not approach me as a person, but quite enough of other people did.
He also said, that just reminds me, that the governor, that's General Luri now, he says, it was quoted widely, as a matter of fact, that was on the 7th of February here in Lagos. He spoke to journalists and he said Governor Daniel asked him to contest this elections in 2006. And so he doesn't understand why he changed his mind.
It's not only Governor Daniel that approached General Luri to contest elections. So many people did. So many people. And that is why everybody is worried. Why? And what he was telling them, what in the program that I did, at least I quoted 3 instances where he told them. I think one was 2007 in Naitoro, one was in 2008 or so in Ekiti, about that. One was in 2010 in Ekene. Those are the ones I can remember. More than 5-6 places. There's a body called Akaso. There's even the Council of Oba. So many people approached him between 2006 and up to about 2008.
But the most important one.
But what was telling everybody then was I was not going to be interested because he's too old for that position. So and then the process now started. The process started with about 13 or 15 of us. But interviews were held so that we don't have this kind of situation where we have multitudes of candidates coming from that part of the state. So interviews were. He was supposed to be part of the panel, that interviewed us. But he said no, the other people should go on. I think we have a panel that comprises of, professors, politicians, so many people. At the end of the day, a consensus candidate emerged in person of myself. It was after that, just recently, that he now began to show interest. So that's what I'm saying, that it wasn't only OGD that approached him. So many other people did. In fact, he told us in at least 3 gatherings that I attended that no, I'm not going into this. I'm not doing all this for any political interest, because I don't have any political interest, neither now or in the future.
Well, Mr. Isiaka, I took the liberty of going to your website, and you had a very impressive campaign strategies. You had 4 pillars to greatness: growing the economy, providing quality social services, strengthening our people and society, energizing our government and the polity. But something that seemed to interest me was the fact that you did say that you're a member of the PPN. But right underneath that, it says, quote, "Since the last 7 years, I have played active roles in my party." You haven't been a member of the PPN.
Well, that obviously, what happened. I mean, that obviously was something that was developed, during the PDP stage. So I take that as an error that will be corrected.
Okay. Now take a look at the developments in Ogun East. At a major base, which you also intend to win, I imagine. The governor is from Ogun East. Jubril Martin-Skuye is from Ogun East. The 3 deputy governors of all the parties are from Ogun East. So, what will be your strategy to win from there?
Well, the same strategy. We will be very close to the people. In the last 7 years, like you have mentioned, they are not minding, under which platform. We've been very close to the people, and I always believe that all this is about people. Is people centered. We've been going around. We've been campaigning. We've been doing door to door.
But it's not going to be easy to win.
No election is easy anywhere. I'm not saying definitely it's not going to be easy. But the important thing is that even if it is by one vote, you win an election.
But you think you've been able to cash in on lost time spent, lost days, because you started your campaign not quite long ago.
When was that? When do you think we started the campaign?
No, we're talking about your PPN. For PPN.
Yeah. Well, as PPN, yes, we started not long ago, but I think the important thing is that we have been with the people. And at the end of the day, electorates, especially at the local level, they are looking at who is the person they want to vote for.
Are you bothered about the voter education enlightenment now, so to speak? On that day when they go out to vote and the ballot papers are out, what kind of symbol will they? Is it, your name wouldn't be there? It's a symbol of your party. Are they already used to your insignia or your symbol of your party?
We are doing a lot about that, and I think the important thing is that we have one of the simplest symbols. Is live. Excuse me that I have to advertise that here. We have one of the simplest symbols, and that is all over the place. We're going around. I think, and I keep stressing this, is that the important thing is a structure that gets to the grassroots.
Okay.
That is the important thing.
But interestingly also, the PDP candidate has been talking about funds. He says he accused the government of allegedly instructing the 20 local government caretaker committee chairmen to raise 500 million naira within 72 hours. I know you heard about that. Well, he also did say that if the governor is found to have used state funds to finance any campaign, he will go to jail. Where did you get your funds from?
Well, I was in the private sector before coming here. And before, I am also a finance person. I was into investment banking. And I have friends, I have colleagues, I have people all over the place. I think that I cannot be going into this kind of game, into this kind of structure, and without having some kind of support from some of my friends who believe in me, both from within, from outside the country. And I think this really is what has assisted. And I also want to repeat that in all this that we are talking about, I'm not a low ranger. It is not as if I'm running for governorship and I don't have people at the Senate level who is taking care of the Senate area, or people at the House of Representative level who is taking of that constituency, or people at the Assembly level who is taking of that constituency. So there's all kind of support from each of those areas.
Okay, but is what he said here true? About
he has to prove it. I don't know how he came about that. I don't know how he came about that. I heard about it.
Any such instructions?
No, I think I read. No, definitely not. Definitely not. He has to prove it, and he has said it that if it is found so, I think it is the onus is on him to prove it. That is the way I look at it.
Okay, let's
talk is cheap. Anybody can come up with anything and mention anything.
All right, we'll take a moment for the news headlines, and then we'll just come back and wrap this up. So don't forget you can send your comments to us. Let us know what you think about what's going on about this matter in Ogun State, in Akwa Ibom State, and all that you might have heard us talk about previously. Just take your pick. But now we pick the headlines. Go ahead.
Well, these are your headlines. A military training aircraft.
All right, thank you very much indeed. We'll come back to you on the half hour. Let's get back to this matter now. For those who may have been carried away with maybe the conflict and not focus on the message of the candidates, how would you raise the internally generated revenue of Ogun State if you're elected governor?
Well, thank you very much. I think that if you look at the 4 pillars that was mentioned, just a while ago, the first thing there is expanding the economy of Ogun State, and that we intend to pursue very vigorously, because we've come to the conclusion that we must bake a very big cake in order for us to have opportunity to share. So one of the things that we want to do is to vigorously expand the economy of the state, especially focusing on areas like agriculture, which as of the moment, constitute about 52% of the GDP of Ogun State. And we believe that, any expansion in that area will actually expand the economy, give opportunity for people to be empowered, and then give opportunity for, for IGR. We also intend, of course, some other areas like solid minerals, talking about bitumen and a few others, transportation, areas where we have core advantage, comparative advantage rather, as a state. So we really want to look at those areas so that we can expand the economy very exponentially. As of now, the economy of the state is put at number 9 in the state, in the GDP of the state, out of the 36 states that we have. Our intention is to see how we can move this about number 4 within this 4 years.
How can you change this just in case, you don't get to win enough seats and, you get into government and you get to see loads of other political parties, maybe the PDP and some others in the state assembly. How are you going to unite everyone, knowing full well that as we speak now, there's a little bit of division in the state assembly?
Well, if you look at the pillar, the 4 pillars that we have there, I think the pillar 4 talks about, the pillar 4 talks about energizing the government and promoting good governance. The essence of that is to go by the dictates and the rules of the Constitution in terms of allowing everybody. And our belief is that once this is done, and we have openness and transparency in the way we go about, and carry everybody along, we will be able to get that. Again, we also need to let our people know that we can play politics up till April 16, and then or even up till May 29. But immediately after May 29, my own idea to the assembly is that from that place, let us please begin to go into governance. And I intend that with that, we'll be able to buy in a lot of people. But by the way, I am very certain that we're going to control the state assembly. So I don't see that first.
How many people do you think that we can employ within the first year if you're elected, and how would you do it?
It is still by the way of agric and industrialization. We believe that within the first 12 months, we should be able to do like 250,000, 300,000.
You talked about agric now.
Yes. Agric, yes.
So what about agric? Loads of people, there was a time we had people come here to tell us about agriculture.
Yes.
Until this very moment, no one has been able to give us a perfect blueprint as to solving food security issues. So how do you intend to go about that very quickly?
Well, we have looked at the problems that we have in the state, in agriculture. And one area that we know, 2 things. One is funding, attracting funding into agric. I think the other one is marketing. Is the market. We have a lot of our people, peasant farmers, who produce a lot of products but could not get it to the to the market, and then they rot away. Our intention is to solve those 2 problems. We've done that, for instance, in the area of industrialization. Whether anybody likes it or not, today Ogun State is the number 1 of industrialization in this country. Excuse me. And I, as the managing director of Gateway Holdings, I play a very prominent role in that. So the intention is to now see how we are going to replicate this in the area of agric. And like I said, most of our peasant farmers that we have all over the place, the major challenge that they have is that of marketing. How do they market their product out there? If you can create a lot of room and the facility for that to happen, there will be a lot of product to be sold. And we believe that a 3.7 million population of Ogun State, with 25% land being cultivated and 75% and 75% uncultivated, should be able to feed a 14 million, 15 million population that we have here. So that is really what we want to do, even apart from export and all that.
Okay, away from agriculture now, would you kind of just tell us a little bit about your relationship with the incumbent governor of Ogun State?
He's my political mentor. I worked under him for 7.5 years.
He's not your political godfather?
No, he's not. He's my political mentor.
Okay. Yes. Would you be willing for a debate if those other candidates say they'd like to?
Anytime, any day.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Mr. Gboyega Isiaka is the governorship candidate of the PPN, People's Party of Nigeria. Yes. That's it, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for coming. And that's all we can say here today. Don't forget, don't go away yet. We also have a lot to do here on Sunrise Daily. We'll be right back.